She is the queen of the land on which you are standing.
Everybody kneeled in front of me. Some were shocked, but some still bowed down their heads. That was the first time I felt this powerful. But before I continue, let's head back to the events that led me to this situation. Hello! So this is me, Catherine, the princess of the kingdom of Eldora, a realm filled with charisma and history. Eldora has always been prosperous in wealth, but I had just heard these success stories from the royal people. Because I had never stepped out of my kingdom, I wasn't allowed to. I spent my days and nights in this castle. Although there was nothing that I felt short of in the realm, I wanted to see what was outside these grand four walls. Let's rewind. My mom and dad were the noble rulers of the estate. Everybody respected them. But good times don't last for long, and an incident led to their death. Mom and dad were going on a night tour with all the other rulers from a nearby estate. They were going by sea and a heavy storm hit the shore, and ultimately, their ship sank. I was just 7 months old and had not even seen who my parents were when my uncle adopted me legally as his daughter. Although the throne had to be passed on to me, the legal heir, everybody had to wait 18 years for that to happen. So my uncle ruled the estate till that time. 18 years later, Coronation Day came. There was a massive event with the place glittering like a fairy. Rulers from all big estates joined the coronation ceremony. Wait, is this Queen Parissa of the Sunfire Kingdom? I couldn't believe my eyes. My idol was here. I had always adored Queen Parissa for her fierce nature and bold personality, and today she would see me getting crowned. What could have been better than this? I ran upstairs to get ready. I was getting dressed in my palace chamber. Just then, the royal guard's son, Williams, my to-be queen's guard, entered the room, looking at me in a beautiful gown getting ready. He could not take his eyes off.
You can stare at me as much as you want to. For now, once I'm the queen, that won't be appreciated much.
Williams lowered his eyes, his cheeks flushed red with shyness. He apologized to me. I had known Williams since childhood. We grew up together in the palace. Being the royal guard's son, he studied in the palace's military school and was provided the military chamber of the castle to live. He held a special place in my heart because he was the source of my entertainment. Well, not in a bad sense. Being alone in the palace, I used to get bored. And William was the only one with whom I shared my feelings. When I was young, he used to help me sneak out from the window of my room, and then we sat in the garden for a long while chatting about our day. He loved listening to my palace's lavish stories, and I took an interest in his daily life adventures. He also used to teach me fighting moves. But over time, William's father engaged him in royal training. Williams became introverted and shy. With all those military wars and training sessions, our day-to-day talks were reduced to weekly meets, reducing further to monthly catch-ups, and now here we were, me being his to-be queen and he my to-be queen's guard only. Anyway, the coronation ceremony began. I was crowned, and now was the time to reveal myself to the kingdom's people, my people. Finally, I was taken to the palace roof and waved my hands. But I heard people crying. Instead of hearing heavy applause as I had expected, I saw them with tears in their eyes looking at me with hope. Those reactions took me aback.
Why were these people crying? What did they expect from me? And what was Uncle hiding from me?
Uncle immediately made me step down the palace roof. The coronation ceremony was over, but I couldn't sleep that night. The thought of those people from my coronation haunted me. I couldn't take it anymore and decided to run away from my kingdom for truth. I tied the rope on my window, hacked my bag, and now was set to jump out of the window to elope. Just as I was about to jump, I heard a stern voice.
Catherine, what do you think you're doing?
Williams, I was just...
Were you trying to elope?
No. Okay, yes.
And then what?
He urged to come with me as he was my queen's guard now and was supposed to protect me. I hated this concept of a man protecting a woman, but it was what it was. We ran to a nearby jungle as commoners to avoid revealing our identities. We were finding a safe place to hide ourselves when we heard some footsteps. We turned back and suddenly a girl jumped from the top of tree.
You came in the wrong lane, beautiful.
She was a dacoit trying to steal money from me, but William's strength couldn't keep her going. When defeated Gazelle revealed that she takes some amount from the rich and wealthy to give it to the poor people in the village.
You should come see the condition of my town and you would understand my motive.
When I saw her town's condition, I couldn't believe this was happening. Under my uncle's rule, the food those villagers ate was 100 times worse than the one served in our palace. We lived in a prosperous kingdom, and these people lacked even the basic facilities. After listening to Gazelle, I learned that the royal collector of the estate, Jason, used to collect such a heavy amount that villagers had nothing to eat. I decided to visit this Jason guy as a maid. There, I heard him telling his aunt that he feels horrible while collecting this much tax, but must follow the king's orders or he will be thrown out of his position. Listening to this, I fell into pieces. My uncle, the one who supported me throughout these years, the one I trusted, my only family left in this world. I was about to faint when Williams came to my rescue. Williams provided me with emotional support, which I needed the most at the time. We spent hours in that place. Knowing the truth, I decided to head back to my kingdom the next day to confront my uncle about our people's conditions. But at night, Queen Paris's son, Prince James, came horse riding in our village with his 2 friends and attacked the villagers. Williams, Gazelle, Jason and I fought against them.
So this petite lady will attack me, huh? Who even are you? Who do you think you are?
To this question, Williams got angry and shouted,
She is the queen of the land on which you're standing.
This left everybody in shock. Everyone kneeled in front of me and bowed down.
Our queen! So you're the new queen!
Prince James was heavily outnumbered and was taken as a prisoner back to Eldora for attacking me and violating villagers. As soon as I reached the kingdom, I confronted my uncle first.
Catherine, I had been careless and had to collect more taxes from people as our kingdom was losing financially. We once established a deal with Queen Parissa's kingdom, but eventually failed to deliver enough steel to them. Parissa's kingdom used to build ships, and our kingdom had ample steel. But once a shortage of steel started due to the Queen's heavy demand for steel, the Queen's contract was broken, to which I was indebted.
I had to deal with my uncle later, but first I had to deal with James. Because James was a prince, our kingdom couldn't decide for him alone. So a panel of all the rulers from nearby kingdoms and allies, including Queen Parissa, had to sit together to form a judgment on him. Queen Parissa put on a calm demeanor at first, but once it was decided by the neighboring rulers that James should be punished for his indecent and violated behavior, Marissa lost her calmness. Nobody had ever dared to even think, let alone take a decision against her. And now that I had convinced all the other allies to take the judgment in my favor, she couldn't digest this fact. Queen Parissa stood up and said nobody should dare touch her son because they all underestimated her capacity. He spilt out that she was the one who was responsible for my mom and dad's deaths. She misplaced the ship's materials on which my mom and dad were supposed to travel. She was envious that our kingdom under my parents' rule was number 1 among their allies. Wanting to take that position, Carissa set this trap up. Once she spilled everything, I got so angry that I wanted to slap her, punch her, and pull off her hair. But instead of losing my etiquette, I decided to have a joint discussion with all the other allies.
But what about the debt Catherine has to pay to my kingdom? Her kingdom lost the contract, and now she is liable to pay the heavy amount.
Jason asked the reason behind such a sudden heavy rise in the steel demand. Queen Parissa remained quiet. Her silence raised suspicion. What was she hiding? Parissa's kingdom was then accountable for the investigation. Through investigation, it was found that Parissa's sudden rise in steel was due to her illegally building warships. Knowing this, Eldora's debt was deemed invalid and Parissa was thrown out of her position. Her daughter was chosen as the next ruler. All well, that ends well. I became the youngest queen in the history of the estate. To bring such a powerful change, I worked towards solving the issues. I broke the tradition of royals working for the people. Instead, I worked with my people. Williams was appointed the royal guard, Jason as the royal advisor. Talking about my personal life, Williams and I declared our love for each other after Williams was positioned as the royal guard of the palace. Next month is our royal wedding. Please do attend.
Hi, my name is Bree from Toronto. Please like and subscribe. I was never very good at school, like ever. It was just always so hard even if I tried. I could hardly ever focus with all the noisy kids and the screaming teachers, and I hated the piles of homework. You see, it's not like my parents ever helped me with it. In fact, they just made it really difficult to study because they were of the loudest people on earth. They do nothing but watch television, play music, or have parties. I failed first grade, so Mom paid my next teacher $1,000 and free haircuts to pass me. My parents also lied to their friends about me.
Bree, oh, she's so smart. Smartest one in her class, in fact, is a good thing. We enrolled her in that private school on the other side of town. They really focus on gifted kids there.
It's one of the best schools in the country. Almost guaranteed she gets into college.
They lied and lied, but one day the truth came out. I accidentally heard my parents talking.
Why can't she be smart like our friends' kids? She's nothing but an embarrassment.
No, honey, she's not. She's special. She just needs time.
Listen to me very carefully. She's not special. She is dumb.
And for the first time in my life, I knew Dad was right. When I got to the 5th grade, I found out it was much harder than every other year before. Sometimes I cry at night because everything feels too hard and I feel so stupid. When I was 12, I started Miss Anderson's class and failed on my first try.
I can't believe I'm going to have you in my class again. Start working harder. Bree, being pretty won't get you anywhere in life.
Well, at least that's one nice thing everyone agreed on. I was really pretty, and thanks to Mom's beauty salon, I always looked perfect at school. I could see other girls eyeing me enviously, but they didn't know that I envied them. One day, I was running a little late on the first day of my second time in 5th grade, and Miss Anderson wasn't in the classroom when I walked in. All the kids chanted together, "Good morning, being Miss Anderson." The new dummies thought I was the teacher. "Good morning, class. Today we're going to have some fun with math." I grabbed a marker and started writing on the whiteboard. If a grumpy old woman started teaching math 25 years ago when she was 60 years old, how old is she today?
85.
Oh, use your indoor voices, kids. But good job. Now what if...
What do you think you're doing?
There was Miss Anderson in the doorway, breathing like a dragon. Well, she sent me to the principal's office. Days later, I became friends with Melinda. She's a genius. She could spell all sorts of gigantic words, do math sums in her head, and rattle off the entire periodic table. I became a little obsessed with her. I wanted to find out more about what made her so smart. So of course, I decided to follow her home one day. While she was having lunch downstairs, I snuck into her room to take a peek, and I gasped. I'd never seen so many books in my life. I saw a box of chocolates on her desk, and quickly popped a few into my mouth. Maybe eating these made her smarter. Just then, I turned around in horror to see Melinda and her parents behind me. They thought I was some kind of kidnapper or thief, but they seemed even more weirded out when Melinda told them I was in her class.
Yeah, she's super dumb. She probably got lost and thinks this is her house now. Go away, stupid.
And I ran off before I got into any trouble. Of course, Melinda never spoke to me again. I finished the 5th grade by some miracle. On my first day of the 6th grade, a boy named Dante showed up to drop off lunch for his little sister. I knew him the moment I saw him. He was one of the smart people I was stalking on Facebook. He was in 10th grade and just so cute. He started walking towards me because I was sitting next to his sister. I wanted to impress a smart guy like him, so I jumped onto the table and started eating a banana.
Are you okay?
Never better. Do you know that chimpanzees eat 150 pounds of bananas each day?
That's a lot of bananas, actually. Are you done with your amount of bananas for the day?
Did he just call me a chimpanzee?
Which one is yours?
Mina, I have only one banana.
What? Which one is your brother or sister?
Oh, that one. That one's mine. I pointed to some random boy on the playground.
That's not your brother, Bree. You don't have one. Bree in my class don't.
So, you're a 6th grader? Can someone be this dumb? I know you're like super pretty, but that doesn't mean you just stop using your brain, you know?
What a total jerk. His sister grinned from ear to ear and said,
He likes you.
Well, I barely finished the 6th grade as well, and when I went to middle school, I finally understood what hell meant. Mean girls were making fun of me all the time for being older and dumb. All they cared about was makeup and fashion. Since I was an expert in makeup and hair, eventually the girls started becoming friends with me, and I really liked being the popular girl, and I almost forgot about me not being smart enough. That is, until one day I accidentally found out that my so-called girlfriends were having a study session with the smartest boys in the class before the exams. When I asked why they never told me about these sessions, one of them said,
Bree, you don't need these sessions. It's not like he'll pass the exams. They won't help you with anything.
Neither do you. You just go there to make out with the boys.
Yeah, it's amazing to kiss and be kissed while studying, but you will never experience that dummy.
I was so angry that I almost lunged at her, but I held myself back and walked away. That day, I went home determined to study hard, harder than any other time, but my parents didn't respect my new study habits. They were as loud and obnoxious as ever. One day before I was studying for a big test, they threw a huge part and invited all their friends. I tried to focus in my room, but the beat was pounding in my ears, and I had to go downstairs to talk to my parents. Can you guys please keep it down? I'm trying to study.
What for? You're not going to graduate anyway.
Mom tried to calm things down, but Dad was still being a jerk and just raised his voice even more. Once when I was in the 9th grade, I was studying in the library, and a boy at the table next to me got up and scraped his chair across the floor. It was so loud that I screeched and I instantly covered my ears. He came to me and said,
What's wrong?
"You didn't hear that. The chair was so loud it hurt my brain." He looked at me for a second and said that I might have a condition similar to his.
And it's called hyperacusis.
Hyper what?
Hyperacusis is oversensitivity to sound. You hear things much louder than they really are. I'm sure it affects your concentration too, just like me.
After some tests, it turned out that he was right. I was really happy because it meant that I wasn't actually stupid. I just had trouble focusing because of my condition. So from that to stay on, I made sure to always cover my ears with headphones when studying. Studied really hard for a math exam and was sure I'd get a high grade, but I only got AD.
Oh, so you actually thought that headphones would help you with anything? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard, even from someone as dumb as you.
Stop it. I keep telling you she's not dumb, she's special.
And that day, I just snapped. Both of you just cut it out. Dad, I thought my intelligence was my biggest problem, but having you as a father is the worst thing that has happened to me. And Mom, I'm not special. Do you need to believe I'm special to love me? I'm your daughter. You should accept me and love me just as I am. And with that, I stormed off. The next day, I left my parents for good. I was old enough to move out and I got a waitressing job after school and, well, I really loved it. After my shift, I'd often sit at the cafe with my headphones on and do my homework. One day, while I was studying, I looked up to see a handsome guy sitting in front of me. It was Ethan. He came to the cafe regularly, and I had such a crush on him ever since he told me that he was some data analyst.
Hey, you didn't hear me with those headphones on, and you look really busy with your chemistry homework. Which grade are you doing?
Oh my god, he'd seen what I was working on. This was so embarrassing. I'm almost about to graduate high school, and you must think I'm really dumb now, huh?
No, I think it's amazing you're putting yourself through school. The only thing that matters is that you're educating yourself, and there's no time or age limit on it. Also, will you go out with me?
Our first date was on Christmas, and I wished Ethan Happy Christmas, but he said he was Jewish, so I said, Happy Jewish Ethan. Ethan burst out laughing, thinking I was joking, and I realized what I'd said only after I got home, and I cringed so hard. So from that moment on, I kept reading a lot of stuff before meeting him, and I kept a notebook with me to write down all his comments so I could mention them again to show him I was smart. A year later, Ethan proposed to me and I said yes. He invited all his smart, intelligent friends to the wedding, and it was so intimidating, especially the smart female colleagues. I just started crying while dancing with Ethan in front of everyone, but they all thought it was happy tears. For the next 2 years, we kept trying to get pregnant, but it didn't happen. Ethan told me not to worry about it, but I started feeling even more insecure. Everybody could be a mom. Was I going to fail at this too? To our delight, I got pregnant a few months later and gave birth to a beautiful baby girl, Anna. The minute I saw her face, I knew I would be a good mom, and I was. Once Anna didn't stop crying and I noticed her lips were slightly blue, I immediately knew something was wrong and we had to take her to the hospital. When the doctor checked her, he was impressed. He looked into my eyes and said,
"That's actually really smart that you were able to. The problem right away."
That was the first time someone said that to me, and it was a freaking educated doctor. From that moment, I started to understand that it was okay not to be perfect or the smartest. I could still be someone who could raise a good kid. 3 years later, it's Anna's first day at school today, and I can't wait to learn all sorts of new things from her. Not everyone who struggles in school is unintelligent. Each person faces challenges that others may not see. When we understand ourselves and find the right way to learn, we can overcome any limits. Hi, I'm Ariel and I live in California. Please like and subscribe. I wasn't born in California. For most of my childhood, I lived in a small town where everyone knew everyone. I wasn't popular, but I was friendly and loved my life. It was perfect except for one little thing. My mom was obsessed with making me a star.
Wear pink, it brings your eyes out.
But I like blue, Mom. It's a cool color and I even have matching shoes.
You do as I say or I won't allow you to play at all.
She tried everything, like putting me in the most adorable kid contest and posting me all over social media. I never won anything, but that never stopped her. She made me sing, but I was so mad that my instructor quit after my second lesson. I tried learning a musical instrument, but that only led to me being banned from music class. When I turned 12, she pushed me to become a ballet dancer so I could get the solo in the Nutcracker. Even though I had 2 left feet, I tried my best to make her happy. Mom, this is so difficult and my feet are killing me.
Oh, come on. You're not trying hard enough. Don't you want to be the best Ariel? The most famous person on the planet?
Yes, Mom.
Then try till you can. Here, take this. This will always remind you to be strong and determined.
I looked at the bracelet and put it on because I didn't want to let my mother down. That evening I practiced till I tripped and hurt my ankle. I couldn't dance and had to walk on crutches for days. It was embarrassing, but I'd do anything to make my mother proud. While Mom was crazy, Dad wanted me to be what made me happy. They thought about it a lot, which only made me more miserable. When I got to 9th grade, I finally figured out what my dream thing to do was. I ran home from school and couldn't wait to tell my dad. Dad, I love looking at the stars. I think I want to be an astronomer.
That's great, honey. I know you'll be amazing at it.
That same day, Dad got me my first telescope and all the posters of meteors, planets, and stars I could ever want. It was all really expensive, but he said he was happy to get it because it made me happy. But all the excitement got wiped away as soon as Mom saw the telescope.
What were you thinking, John? She won't become famous by looking at planets. There are so many other things you could have gotten her, and you chose this.
You're hurting her. Don't you see that she's just a kid and you've loaded her with dumb expectations?
Mom and Dad fought a lot, and the following day, Dad left. I was hurt to see how upset Mom was. This was all my fault. My mom just wanted the best for me, and I couldn't get anything right. Soon after Dad left, Mom and I moved to California, and she enrolled me in one of the best schools in the city. I promised myself things would be different. I changed my hair color, bought fancier outfits, and even enrolled in ballet classes. Hey Mom, look, no more tripping over my feet.
That's nice, dear, but just not tripping over your feet isn't star ballerina material. Do you remember that little nutcracker incident? I want you to focus on yourself so you won't humiliate me like that again.
You're right, Mom, no more loose ends. I'll be my best version. I pushed myself to do better, and soon I became everything Mom dreamt of: the student body president, head cheerleader, and the best student in school. I had a busy life, and sometimes the pressure to keep up was a bit too much. But then I saw how proud Mom was, and everything felt better. One day during cheer practice, my best friend Maisie and I were performing cartwheels, but we just weren't getting it right. When suddenly I was interrupted by Declan, the smartest guy in the whole school.
You're doing it wrong.
Really? Then show us the right way.
Suddenly, Declan put his books aside and did the most amazing cartwheel and backflip. I was blown away.
And that's how you land the perfect flip.
Wow, I could have never guessed a nerd would be. So what's the right word? Flexible?
You don't know a lot of things.
Like what?
Like, I've had the biggest crush on you and would love to take you out on a date.
Suddenly, I felt my cheeks on fire. Declan was a nerd, and although he was cute, I didn't know if we were a good match.
Think about it. You know where to find me.
Declan walked away and Macy jumped on me with excitement.
I could see the sparks fly. You should totally go for it. He's kind of cute.
You think Mom would never allow me to date a geek?
Forget about your mom for once and just do what you really like. And for the love of God, take that hideous bracelet off your wrist.
No way Mom would kill me if I took it off. And I'll think about the date. I didn't think I called Declan the moment I reached home, and the next day we went out. He was fun and cute, and I had a great time. For weeks after that, we went out on several more dates till he asked me out and we became an official couple. Things were fine till one day the school announced the annual cheerleading competition and I was selected as the team representative. I was constantly practicing at school and at home. Mom made me practice extra hours. One day before the competition, Mom was teaching me a few moves, but I was tired to the bone.
Your formations aren't good enough. You know what you need? A good energy drink.
No, Mom. Can I please go to bed now? Mom agreed. I went to bed, but a few seconds later Declan texted me that he was outside of my place. I sneaked out and found him standing with my favorite ice cream. Ah, you're the best! The best!
I know you needed that. You've been practicing too hard.
Yeah, try telling my mom that. Declan and I spoke for a few minutes and he kissed me goodnight. But when I went inside, I saw my mom fuming.
I thought you were too tired to practice, but here you are, eating useless calories and being blind in love.
It's not like that, Mom. He just came for a few minutes to surprise me, and he's a nice guy.
You need to focus, and all this love and drama will only mess with your brain. Gosh, you're such a kid, Ariel.
It made me sad to see Mom being so angry, but I didn't want to make things messy, so I simply nodded and went up to bed. I woke up extremely exhausted the next day, but I felt confident and decided to focus my energy on the right thing. I was excited to show off my new cheer that I'd come up with. My mother waved at me and pointed to my mouth. I could read her lips.
Smiled big. I'm recording this for your portfolio.
I smiled as wide as I could and started to lead the other cheerleaders. The crowd was going wild, and even my mother and Declan were cheering for me. Suddenly, my head spun, my limbs trembled, and I began to feel unsteady.
Are you okay, Ariel?
Yes, I'm just perfect. I don't think so. The last thing I remember is collapsing on the ground and hearing the sound of an ambulance. When I woke up, I was in the hospital with my mom and dad, who had flown all the way to California, when he heard the news. I didn't have any bruising or anything, but I still didn't feel well. The doctor came in and looked at the clipboard that had all my information on it.
What is the last thing you remember?
I was cheering, and then my heart started beating really fast. Then I heard the ambulance and I woke up. Here, did I fall? Great. I ruined everything, didn't I? The doctor said that I'd fainted because of dehydration, exhaustion, and stress. He said that I needed to slow down and rest for a few days or I would get sick again. I was so shocked. I had no idea that stress could make someone sick. Before I could say anything though, my mom made this loud scoff.
Please, that is totally nonsense. When I was her age, I had twice the workload she does and nothing like this ever happened. Ariel is going to be a star one day and stars don't burn out. If she wants that, then she has to work harder and get used to a hectic schedule.
My dad looked like he was ready to blow a gasket, but I beat him to it. I can't believe you. I'm in a hospital bed and you still won't quit. I left my passion and did everything you asked me to, but nothing's working anymore. I'm tired and exhausted, Mom. I don't want to be famous or perfect. I just want to be me. Why can't you love me for me?
Oh, don't be so dramatic now. You know this is all just a phase. We'll be out of here soon and you'll be just fine.
Just leave, Mom. Seriously. Also, take this stupid thing with you. It makes me feel like I've lost myself to make you happy. I couldn't stop crying after Mom left. I spent another week in the hospital and got a lot of rest. Dad visited me a lot, but my mom never came back. It made me sad because all I wanted to do was tell her I was sorry for yelling at her. My dad dropped me off at home and promised that he would see me again before he left. But just as I unlocked the door, I saw Mom running toward me and all the trauma came rushing back. On second thoughts, Dad, can you please take me with you? I can't stay with Mom and live up to her crazy expectations anymore. I want to live my life the way I want to.
Are you sure?
Yes, I am not ready to forgive her yet.
But sweetie, I have a surprise for you. I've even bought you a welcome cake.
The look on Mom's face crushed my soul, but I was too mad at her for all the years she'd ignored my happiness. Dad rented a small apartment next to the school so I wouldn't have to skip studies. And thanks to Declan and Maisie, I started to feel better. I needed to learn how to love myself again before everything else. I started reading my astronomy books and fell in love with science again. I was finally feeling like myself. I even landed a scholarship that week to one of the best colleges in the country. I was super excited to tell Dad, but he had something bigger waiting for me. It was a letter from my mom talking about her story. I was choked with emotion, unable to believe what I had just read. I saw her as a young girl struggling to keep up with everything, and it broke my heart. I knew I had to see her, so I decided to pay her a visit that weekend. The house was open, so I went in, and when I saw my room, I was overwhelmed thinking about all the nights I'd spent crying in there. I turned around to leave, but Mom was right behind me.
I'm so happy to see you, Ariel. Did you get my letter?
Yes, I did. Why didn't you ever tell me all that before?
I was too ashamed to show you my weak side. Parents are supposed to be strong.
But Mom, what you did to me was no different than what happened to you. You made me slog day and night, and I left everything, all the stuff that I liked, just to make you proud.
I am so sorry I put so much pressure on you. I guess I wanted you to be what I never was, but I didn't realize how awful and stressed that made you feel. You're the best daughter and you make me proud every day. I love you.
I love you too, Mom. That's all I really wanted to hear you say. Hi, I am Laura from New York. Please like and subscribe. When I was just 5 years old, Miss Luna gave me a piano. The very first time I touched the keys, I played, and everyone was absolutely stunned.
Laura, you're a genius. We're going to send you to the best schools, the best classes. You're going to be the best child in the world.
In an instant, my life changed. My parents shifted us to a new city, got me into a fancy new school, and signed me up for 6 hours of tutoring daily. But the problem was that I had ADHD as a kid, and it was really tough for me to focus the way my mom wanted me to. Once Mom even tried to give me pills to control my behavior.
You should take these, Laura. They will help you focus on your studies.
Okay, Mom. When she left, I threw the pills in the trash. What if she wanted to poison me? My mom made me hate studying, so I had no choice but to start sneaking out when my parents weren't looking. My little escapades were awesome. I got to play soccer with the other kids and eat all the junk food I liked. It was all going so well until one day in the 2nd grade when I snuck out to go to a soccer match. 2 big girls approached me on the street.
Hey, you give me your bag?
No way! One of the girls grabbed me while the other tried to pull my bag off my shoulder. Suddenly, our neighbors spotted us.
Hey, what are you doing?
The girls ran off in a hurry.
I'm taking you home to your parents.
Oh no, not my parents. When Mom saw me, her face turned red with anger.
What are you doing out, Laura?
Once she learned about the incident, she totally lost it. She took away all my toys and grabbed me until further notice.
Until you can learn to be a grown-up, you're not going anywhere.
I already don't go anywhere. Mom was about to slap me when Dad came between us and stopped her.
Such a rude kid.
The next morning, Mom woke me up at 4 a.m.
You're going to learn self-defense with your dad every morning and night.
But Mom, it's not even morning yet.
You start now.
I had no choice. He began to teach me kickboxing every morning and jujutsu every night. One day, I was heading to an advanced math exam. My mom had been grilling me about this paper for a year. She wanted me to rank number 1. I was on my way to the exam room when I suddenly spotted an adorable boy with glasses, cornered by some bigger kids who were pushing him around. I knew I had to go in for my paper, but I couldn't ignore this. I ran in between them. Hey, stop it!
Is this little girl here to save Devin?
This little girl will kick your big butt.
You're awesome.
Suddenly, my teacher came out of the exam room.
Miss, this girl just attacked us. She's crazy.
Before I knew it, I was being dragged to the principal's office. I already knew what would happen now. He called my parents. Mom came in like a raging bull.
You missed the exam. You beat someone up.
Mom, they were bullying someone.
So what are you, Mother Teresa or Wonder Woman? Mind your own business. How dare you ditch your exams like this?
Dad, I did the right thing. You know that. Say something. I knew Dad agreed with me, but he was just too weak to say anything in front of Mom. She signed me up for a replacement exam in 3 months and told me to get to work. The next day, the boy helped. Devin came up to me and thanked me for saving him from the bullies and asked me out on a date. My first day ever, and he was just so cute. Of course I said yes. Devin and I began dating, and I did everything I could to keep it secret from my parents. I got a secret phone with my savings to text him, and I sneak out every night to meet him. I started to think that life wasn't so bad after all. Until one day, Noah, the gorgeous soccer player for my school, came up to me during lunch.
Hey, go to the Blue Pearl Cafe at 5 p.m. Watch what happens.
What?
Just do it. It's very important.
With that, Noah walked away from me. That was so weird, but I decided to go anyway. When I reached the cafe, I saw Devin sitting there arm in arm with another girl. What? Devin kissed that girl right on the lips before she left. Oh my God. Devin, you cheater. The whole cafe turned to look at us, but I didn't care.
Laura, what are you doing here?
I'm dumping you. Just then, another girl walked into the cafe.
Devin, what's going on? I'm here for a date.
Oh my God, I exposed the truth about him in front of the girl, and she was so angry that she yelled at Devin. Just then, the manager showed up and threw us all out of his cafe. You will regret it, Devin. And with that, I ran back to school. I was going to find Noah. He was practicing soccer with the school team. I pulled him aside and demanded that he tell me how he knew about Devin.
I've seen him around with you, so I knew you were dating. But I saw him with other girls too.
Why did you tell me?
Because I kind of have a huge crush on you.
You what?
I'm not sure if you remember. We used to play soccer together before you stopped showing up for practice. I've always liked you, and I didn't like the idea of you dating that slime.
Oh my God, Noah had a crush on me.
I know it's kind of weird and sudden, but do you want to go out with me sometime?
He was so stunning, and I wanted to say yes, but I couldn't get Devin out of my head. How could I ever trust a guy again? I had to turn Noah down.
Maybe we can just play soccer like old times.
Yes, we can try that. I started playing, and it was the best fun I'd had in years. Everyone loved me and asked me to try out for the official soccer team. I cleared the tryouts easily, but I had to make sure my parents never found out about this. One day after practice, Noah came to me with a whole bunch of roses and a couple of friends playing guitars. He asked me out on a date again.
Oh my God, you're dating Noah?
I turned around to see Devin behind me, and he looked really mad. It's none of your business what I do with my life.
Tell me the truth, Laura. No one told you about my dates, didn't he?
So what if he did?
I always knew he liked you. He was always staring at you.
Go away, Devin.
Yeah, before we make you.
The entire soccer team steered him down, and he had no choice but to back off and walk away. I turned to Noah and said, "I'm sorry, Noah. I really like you, but I just can't trust someone so soon."
That's okay, Laura. I get it. Come on, let's prep for the semifinals.
The semifinals of our tournament went by like a breeze. We had trained hard, and our skill and teamwork were totally unmatched. When I scored that winning goal, I literally lost my mind. The thrill and joy was too much. I wrapped my arms around Noah and gave him a kiss right on his lips. The entire stadium began to hoot at us, but I didn't care one bit. Everything was perfect until I heard it.
Laura!
Mom, Dad, what are you doing here?
Devin called and he told us everything. You've been sneaking away every day to play this stupid game.
My mom began to fight with me in front of hundreds of people. I had never been more humiliated in my life.
You're grounded forever.
Mom, the finals are tomorrow.
Come on, honey, we can't make her miss that.
Why not? She should be punished. She is a bad daughter.
To my surprise, Dad finally put his foot down. He told my mom that I was an amazing daughter and that he'd had it with her bullying. My mom went purple with rage.
Laura is playing tomorrow, and there's nothing you can do about it.
I love you, Dad. He'd finally accepted me. My mom refused to say one word to me. From that day on, I won the soccer finals 6-0, and without our knowledge, a scout had come to watch the match. They picked me up, and I got a full sports scholarship for my undergrad degree. None of my other teammates got that offer, including Noah. He got into a good college too, but it was thousands of miles away from me.
You have to take this opportunity, Laura. You're going to be great.
I loved him so much that I really tried to make it work long distance, but it just became too painful for us to keep missing each other. We had to end things, even though we still loved each other and were on excellent terms. My soccer career was thriving, and I was playing at the state level, topping every chart in the women's league. During a final match with Penn State, I fell and twisted my ankles so hard that I blacked out instantly. When I woke up, I was rushed to the hospital where the doctor told me in clear terms,
"You can walk and run if needed, but you can't play soccer ever again."
My heart was broken and it felt like my life was shattered. I went back home and my dad consoled me and supported me. My mom made a few snide comments about how she was right, but Dad chased her away.
I believe in you, Laura. We'll get through this together.
I eventually started teaching self-defense and soccer classes for little kids in my city. It was good pay, and I really enjoyed working with children. One day, I got a text from Noah, and I flipped. I didn't realize we were in the same town now. He asked to meet me for dinner, and I was shaking. My jaw fell when I saw Noah. He was drop-dead gorgeous, just as the day I met him. He wasn't here alone. Some of our friends from the soccer team were here with their old guitars. Noah had 100 roses, and he gave them to me before he asked me to be with him again. And this time I said yes and jumped into his arms. Noah and I started our lives together and eventually got married 3 years later. A year after our marriage, I became pregnant with our first baby. The pregnancy itself was a breeze. But when I gave birth to Claire, I had complications, and getting pregnant again would be very dangerous. However, I've always wanted a big family, so I adopted 3 children. In the end, our family lived happily together in a wonderful and loving home. Hi, I'm Gabrielle, but everyone calls me Gabby. But before I continue my story, click like and subscribe. I've been hearing the story of my birth from Mom ever since I can remember.
Oh, you were so lazy. You came out 3 weeks after my due date, and you were almost 12 pounds. My arms would hurt after holding you for a minute.
You were worth the wait, Gabby. You were just the cutest baby ever, and you still are.
Dad adored me, and so did my older twin siblings. I'm sure Mom loved me too, but she had a funny way of showing it. Once, when I was 3, everyone was eating pizza for dinner, but Mom just kept popping boiled carrots in my mouth. I suddenly leapt onto the table and bit into her pizza slice. She pulled it away, but I clung onto it like a puppy.
What are you doing? Let Gabby have pizza. Come here, sweetie. I'll give you the biggest slice.
Mom looked mad.
She doesn't need more calories. You're turning my daughter into an elephant.
But I didn't care. I was eating pizza. Once on Halloween, I went trick-or-treating with my siblings and came home with my bag full. Everyone said I was so cute, and they gave me extra candy. But Mom snatched it from me.
That's going to make you fat. Just give them to me and leave.
I was really sad that she took it away, but Dad snuck me a few pieces every night. Growing up, Dad and I read lots of books together, and in the 1st grade, I started writing poetry. My teacher entered one of my poems in a school competition, and I won 2nd prize. Dad was so proud, he had it framed for his office. At Thanksgiving dinner, he asked me if I'd recite my poem for everyone, and I was happy to. As everyone clapped for me, grumpy Auntie Polly walked in.
Good God, child. You look like you're about to burst out of your clothes. You've gotten so fat.
That's the first time I saw Dad get really mad.
How dare you say that? She's just a child, and she's perfect.
With that, he picked me up and told my family that we were leaving. In the 5th grade, we were at the beach once, and I was going around happily in my new pink bathing suit. I went over to some girls my age and asked if I could make sandcastles with them, but one of them rudely pushed me away.
We don't play with fat girls. You're ugly.
I burst into tears and ran off, and Dad was furious.
I'm gonna tell those girls exactly what I think. Where are their parents?
Oh, can you stop creating drama everywhere? I told you not to buy her that ridiculous bathing suit, and she does need to lose weight. Of course people will make fun of her.
And that evening, Mom told me I was going on a diet.
Your sibling's 16th birthday is coming up in a few months, and they'll buy you an amazing dress. If you lose some weight, you'll feel so good about yourself.
Later that night, I snuck downstairs to the kitchen and started stuffing my face with crisps and cookies. I had to eat as much as I could before starting Mom's stupid diet. Mom took me to the nutritionist's office the next day, and I instantly disliked Dr. Christine.
Come on, Chubby. Get on the scale. Yes. You're really overweight. You need to lose at least 20 pounds.
Do you think we can manage this by September, Doctor?
It all depends on Gabrielle. But yes, it can be done.
Do you want to lose weight, honey? Do you want to be beautiful for the party?
I remembered the mean girl's words at the beach and said, "Yeah, I want to be beautiful." So, the nutritionist made a special diet for me, and we had to buy all these expensive products from her. I had to eat some special toasts with special cheese, and it tasted disgusting. As I was making faces at the dinner table, Dad ate some food from my plate and almost threw up.
Why are you making Gabby eat this horrible stuff? Just make her some healthy food. She doesn't need to eat rubbish?
No, Daddy, I want to eat this rubbish. I want to be pretty.
But you already are, sweetheart.
It's okay. It's only for a few months. Please.
Don't look at me. She wants to be skinny.
Dad looked kind of sad, but he didn't say anything. After that, I kept doing the awful diet, and I didn't lose an ounce. Not an inch. The day of the big party was approaching, and Mom waited until the very last minute to see if I'd lost some weight. Before she took me shopping, she asked the saleswoman to show us clothes that would look good on me.
Oh, I see what you mean. You want her to look skinny. I might just have the right dress. Why don't you try this? And this? And this?
I tried on all the clothes, and I hated everything. As I was taking off a white dress in the changing room, I overheard something that broke my heart.
How did the dress fit her?
Oh, not very well. That white dress makes the girl look like a small refrigerator. Short and square. I wish she had inherited my figure.
I burst into silent tears. That's what Mom really thought of me. We bought some stupid black dress, and on the day of the party, I held my breath and tucked my tummy in for all the pictures. I just felt ugly and miserable. Being fat didn't affect my ability to love, though. I was falling in love at school all the time, but I'd grown up too insecure and shy to ever ask anyone out, and, well, no one ever noticed me. In the 9th grade, I fell madly in love with James, this gorgeous boy who was 2 years older than me. He played basketball, and I'd watch him from a distance and write poems about him. One day at lunch, someone tapped me on the shoulder, and I almost fell off my seat when I saw it was James.
Hey, you dropped this paper in the hall. Did you write this poem yourself? It's really good.
I just stared at him like a dumb goldfish, and seconds later, a skinny girl took his arm and led him away. I crumpled up the paper and threw it away angrily. Of course, he had a girlfriend who looked like a freaking model. Just then, this annoying bully Aaron from my class sat next to me with a grin.
Ah, chubby Gabby. You like James, don't you? I've seen how you stare at him every day.
I do not.
I don't care. Girl, you want to get noticed by someone like him? You should hang out with me. I'm like the most popular guy around. Come to a party at my place tonight. James will be there too, and I'll introduce you guys.
But he has a girlfriend.
Oh, that's not his girlfriend. Trust me, he's single.
That offer was too tempting to resist. So I went to the party that evening, and when I got there, the first thing I saw was James dancing with that girl. Aaron, I think those two are together. This is stupid. I'm just gonna go home.
Oh, poor dummy. You don't know the first thing about guys, do you? Give him something to be jealous about, like this.
And suddenly, Aaron pulled me in and kissed me. I immediately shoved him away.
What's wrong with you, Gabrielle? You just show up uninvited at my party, begging to kiss me. Does being fat make you needy and desperate for love?
I stared at him in horror as I felt everyone's eyes on me. You liar! I'd rather kiss a monkey's bud. I gave him a hard slap and then I ran away from there. But since Aaron was a popular jerk, he made sure I became known as the fat, desperate girl, and my self-esteem hit rock bottom. Suddenly, I just lost my appetite and stopped eating. Dad was worried and kept asking me what was wrong, but Mom was delighted when I got skinny.
Wow, Gabby, you look amazing. Wanna go shopping?
No, I'm good, thanks.
But you're in those big clothes.
Fat clothes, you mean?
Why are you talking to me like that? What did I do to you?
Nothing, Mom. You're just perfect. When I went off to college, I finally made some friends there. Suddenly, I fit in the clothes I fit in with others. But then I discovered something. No one here cared about my looks. People were interested in my poetry and the things I had to say, not the way I was on the outside. For the first time, I felt I could breathe. I started relaxing, eating more, and having fun. When I went home for Christmas, I took my coat off and found Mom staring at me like a hawk.
Gabby, did you gain weight?
I don't know, Mom. I didn't check.
But it's such a shame that you're getting fat again, honey. You have to be careful.
So what if I get fat? Will I be ugly, useless, worthless?
What's wrong with you? Are you upset about something?
Mom, I'm mad at you. You made me feel my entire life that being fat is the worst thing in the world. That it's the only thing that defines you. But it's not.
I was only looking out for you. I want you to be healthy.
Are you sure? Because I was unhealthy and miserable when I got skinny, and you weren't bothered about that. The only thing you ever wanted for me was to be pretty, no matter what the cost. You've just never loved me the way I am.
That's not true. I care a lot.
Yeah, I'm sure you care, Mom. Just not in the way that's any good for me. I'm leaving.
Well, we're coming with you. I'd like to enjoy a family dinner for once.
I turned around to see my dad and siblings looking really angry at Mom. We all left without her, and we had an amazing Christmas dinner at a restaurant. As Dad dropped me off at college, he put his hands on my face and said,
I'm so proud of how smart and strong you are. And I'm glad you're realizing your own worth. You are and always will be perfect to me.
Time passed, and I gained and lost weight all the time. And even though my confidence was better, I still had a hard time believing that someone could love me just the way I was. But one day, someone tapped my shoulder at the supermarket.
Hey, Gabrielle, right?
Oh yeah, hi, I'm sorry. Who are you?
James from school, remember? I think I was your senior. I recognized you because you still have those beautiful eyes.
Oh my God, it was James, the James! We went out for coffee the same day and talked for hours over chocolate cake. I even shared the poems I was writing for my first book. It was perfect. And soon after, we started dating. Slowly, but surely, I was changing and fixing the damage. My mother still gives opinions about my body all the time, but she no longer affects me. I finally understood that her problem was about her own insecurities. Now I love myself just the way I am when I'm skinny and when I'm fat. Also, I have this wonderful man next to me who isn't shallow at all. He knows how to love unconditionally. After so much suffering, I now know I am beautiful no matter what.
Hi, my name is Kane, and I'm from Brazil. Even though my parents were poor, I always had big dreams as a kid. When I was 8, my best friend Gangle and I used to sit at the bus stop on the weekends and would admire all the fancy cars that would drive past. Wow, did you see that? BMW I want one like that when I grow up.
I believe you'll drive a car like that one day, Kane. Remember what our teacher said? If you believe it, you will have it.
Gangle also came from a poor family, like me, and I cared about her a lot. Once, when we were in the 8th grade, she couldn't bring her lunch for the whole week because her parents were so broke. And even though she came up with all sorts of excuses not to take my lunch, I wasn't going to leave my friend to starve.
Kane, I'm not that hungry. Please, I don't want to take your lunch.
You know you don't have to have pride with me. Come on, let's share.
Okay, but next week is my turn to share with you.
But when next week came, Gangle had more than enough to share with me since her dad got a big good job in the city.
I got us candy bars today.
Wow, thank you. I'm really happy that your family's doing well.
Yeah, and there's something else I need to tell you.
She looked a little sad, and then I felt sad when she told me.
We won't be living in the same place anymore. We're moving to the city, and I won't be in this school.
I was happy for Gangle because she was going to have a better life, but I was sad since she was my best friend. We promised to write to each other every month, but as time went by, she stopped writing, but I didn't. I started focusing a lot on my studies when Gangle left and became the top student in my school. When I was in 10th grade, I got selected to participate in a national math tournament. When I was at the tournament, I was so happy when I saw Gangle. She was also selected from her school. Gangle, she looks so beautiful now. Gangle looked at me like she didn't even know me. Or maybe it was because I also look different. It's me, Kane.
Oh, hi. It's been a while.
She looked down at my shoes and made a face of disgust.
I'm guessing you're still stuck at the poor people's location.
If that's what you call it.
Okay. I have to go. My friends are waiting.
That was not the Gangle I knew, but I didn't let that distract me. During the tournament, I beat all the kids, even the rich ones from Gangle's school.
Well done, Kane.
Thanks, Gangle. And it was nice seeing you again. As I walked to the hallway, a tall man approached me. He was the principal of the most expensive school in the city. It was the same school Gangle went to.
Well done on your achievement today. I would love to have a student like you at my school.
Thanks, sir, but I don't think my parents can afford your school for now.
You would definitely qualify for a scholarship, and I could help you with that.
When I told my parents about the offer I got from the principal, they were so happy. Dad immediately spoke to one of his friends who lived closer to the school to accommodate me, and he gladly accepted. After a month, I moved into Dad's friend's house. He had a daughter who was my age, Pomni, and she was on another level of always being happy.
I've always been an only child in this massive house. It's just me and my father. I'm so glad to finally have someone to talk to. Come on, I want to show you our swimming pool. I've won 5 gold medals. It's because I practice every day.
Thanks, but swimming is not my thing.
What? Swimming should be everybody's thing. What would you do if the world comes to an end and the entire earth gets flooded? It has to be everybody's thing. Then I'll teach you. Let's go.
Pomni was so persistent about everything I did, everything she asked me to do since her father was super kind to me. She never mentioned her mom, and I didn't want to intrude. When Pomni and I entered the school gates together, all eyes were on us, and I didn't understand why.
Oh my gosh! Everyone thinks I'm dating the new hot guy.
Which new hot guy?
You silly! You're really cute. Don't you know that?
I blushed when she said that because I never really paid attention to how I looked, since I focused so much on getting high grades. And then as we walked into our next class, all the girls started tapping the seat next to them.
Hey, new guy, you could sit next to me.
Oh no, you should really sit next to me. I have all the answers to everything.
Pomni suddenly hid behind me when she saw Gangle walk in, and then she took my hand.
He'll sit next to me. We come from way back. Isn't that so, Kane?
I saw Gangle glare at Pomni sternly, and she quickly ran to her seat and didn't look at me for the rest of the day. Gangle pulled me along with her everywhere in school, and because I missed her so much, I stuck with her.
I'm so happy that you're in my school, Kane, but we got to get you some new shoes, okay?
But these are my favorite shoes, Gangle.
I know, but change is good sometimes. Look at me. I live a fabulous life, which starts with how we look.
Pomni walked past me and Gangle like she didn't even know me, and when I saw her after school to find out what was up, she acted like everything was normal. Hey, you suddenly avoided me. What happened?
Nothing. I just wanted to give you and Gangle your space. She seems to really like you.
Yeah, we're old friends. Are you afraid of Gangle?
No, she's just this popular girl who gets everything she wants. And I don't want any trouble at school, so we could just be friends at my house.
Okay, if that's what you want. The next day at school, Gangle immediately approached me and took me to a quiet place. And then she took a new pair of sneakers from her bag for me. I felt very uncomfortable taking them. But these are my favorite shoes, Gangle.
Kane, it's rude not to take a gift. You know that. Remember that time you made me share your lunch and I took it?
Yeah, but I was helping.
Take my gift, Kane, please.
I looked at her eyes, and she looked like she was about to cry, so I took the shoes. But it didn't stop there. Gangle changed my whole look, and I kind of liked it, but hanging out with her and her friends felt awkward. Like this one time when we were in 12th grade, they invited me to a beach party, and when I decided to bring Pomni along, Gangle acted like she owned me.
Kane, can I speak to you alone, please?
She seemed angry, and I left Pomni waiting for me.
Why did you bring her to a party that I invited only you to?
I live in her house, and she's my friend, so I thought it'd be okay.
Well, it's not okay, and I'm not happy. You were my friend first. In fact, I think I like you more than a friend now.
Gangle suddenly kissed me, which caught me off guard. Before I could react, my phone rang, and it was my dad. Sorry, I have to take this. My dad called to tell me that in a month's time, they would be losing the house because he lost his job. Gangle could see that I wasn't okay. And because I was so worried, I ended up telling her everything.
So you're going to be homeless?
No, I won't allow that to happen.
Well, I don't know how you will do anything since you're still in school, but if you send Pomni back home and tell her that she's a loser, then I'll speak to my dad to help your family.
What? I can't do that. Pomni's family is helping me, and she's a good person.
She's a freak, Kane, and you're hot and smart, and I want you all to myself.
I was so turned off with Gangle. She wanted me to hurt another person for no reason, and I just couldn't do it. I went back home with Pomni, and she was happy to get out of the party because it wasn't her vibe either.
Maybe we can go get some ice cream.
Yeah, let's do that.
What did Queen Gangle say? You look so unhappy after you spoke to her.
Don't worry about it. I don't think I'll be hanging around her anymore. After our fun ice cream date, I started growing really fond of Pomni. She was sweet and accepted me for who I am. She was still very hyper about many things, but I started loving that about her. And then after the weekend, when I went back to school, everyone looked at me differently. Even the girls who used to drop hints at me now looked at me like some poor, pathetic boy.
I can't have a homeless boy in our school.
I spotted Gangle talking to a group of kids. I stood behind her. She was talking about me.
Kane is a total fake. I had to buy him clothes and shoes because his family is going to be homeless soon.
Wow. But how can someone so hot be so poor?
Gangle, how could you do this?
Oh, speak of the poor devil.
She looked at me coldly, and then I took off the shoes she bought me and threw them in her face. Congratulations, Gangle. Money has turned you into a real witch. I walked away from her, and Pomni ran after me.
Kane, wait. Don't throw your education away because of her. Gangle did something really humiliating to me once before, and that's why I stay away from her and whatever she wants.
What did she do to you, Pomni? Pomni started crying and I hugged her. Then she told me that she was the popular girl at school once before, and Gangle was her best friend until she told everyone her big secret.
Gangle kept asking about my mom, and then I told her something my family never shared with anyone. My mom is in a mental institute. Gangle told everyone at school. From that day, everyone called me a mental case.
Oh, Pomni, why didn't you tell me this before?
Because I didn't want you to think that I was a mad person. I'm not my mother. I'm me.
After what Pomni told me, I wanted nothing more to do with Gangle. I completed my last year of high school with Pomni by my side, and her dad also helped my parents not lose the house. Thank you so much for all that you did for my family. I hope to pay you back one day, sir.
You have a bright future ahead of you, Kane, and it was a pleasure having you in my house.
I'm going to miss you so much.
I got a scholarship to study medicine in one of the most prestigious universities abroad, and my school helped my parents pay for my flight tickets since I was the best student they ever had. I worked hard in university and became one of the best heart doctors in the world, and when I went back to Brazil to visit my parents, I also paid a visit to Pomni and her father.
Kane, I'm so glad to see you.
Pomni looked emotional. What's wrong?
My dad is in the hospital. It's his heart.
I spoke to the head of the hospital that Pomni's father was in, and I was ready to do anything to save him. While I was at the hospital, one of the nurses suddenly approached me.
Kane.
I couldn't recognize her since she had her hair covered up, and when I looked closer, it was Gangle. Hello, Gangle.
Wow, you're a doctor now?
Yes, and I'm a very busy person, so please excuse me. I walked past her, and I could feel her eyes still on me. But she was someone I forgot about a long time ago. After my successful operation on Pomni's father, he couldn't stop thanking me, and I was happy that I was able to do something good for him and Pomni.
Kane, you are like my angel. You always come into my life at just the right time. When I was lonely back at high school, you filled up my life, and today you saved my father.
I comforted Pomni, then suddenly Gangle walked towards me. What can I do for you, Gangle?
I just wanted to say I'm sorry to both of you.
She looked really sincere, so Pomni and I forgave her. She asked if we could have dinner together. I looked at Pomni, and she nodded, so we hung out together. As we sat in a restaurant, we actually enjoyed ourselves, and when Pomni excused herself to go to the bathroom, Gangle confessed to me.
I still love you, Kane. I don't know what came over me in high school, but I've changed now.
I'm sorry, Gangle, but I'm in love with Pomni, and that's why I came back to Brazil. Gangle understood and then got up and left.
Where's Gangle?
She's gone, so it's just the two of us. I stepped forward, Pomni's, looked into her eyes, and told her how I felt. Pomni, will you go out with me on a real date?
Oh, yeah. So I guess I did get the hottest guy in school after all.
She always knew how to make me blush. Never let your current situation determine your future. When life throws you lemons, make sweet lemonade.
I was in 4th grade when the teacher asked me to present my poem in front of the class. I was doing so well when suddenly the whole room started to stink. Goodness, that fart could ruin lives. Someone from the back jokingly said,
"Ha ha ha ha! I bet it's Tina."
What? No, it's not me.
Look at her face. Of course it's her.
I kept protesting, but no one believed me. The teacher told me to leave the class and sent me to the bathroom. When I looked in the mirror, it suddenly hit me why everyone thought it was me. Hi, my name is Tina, and I have something called idiopathic craniofacial erythema, where simply put, I blush a lot. It might sound cute, but I turn crazy red whenever I feel anything. Whether I'm embarrassed, guilty, stressed, angry. Just name an emotion, and I'm a tomato. Please like and subscribe before I tell you how this condition changed my life forever. It was never easy to have everyone know what I was feeling, but it got even worse when Dad started working as a janitor at a posh private high school, and I got enrolled for free. But Dad, I don't think I'll fit in. They're all probably billionaires, and they'll just turn up their noses at me when they find out you work there.
I don't want you to tell anyone that I'm your dad, okay? I don't want anything to be harder for you. And you're just as smart and deserving as any kid out there. So don't let anyone make you feel otherwise.
But as expected, school was a nightmare. On my first day, the school queen, Diane, and her gang immediately noticed me. Their eyes were scanning me up and down, and it was really freaking me out.
You're pretty, but do you own a private island?
Oh, is that a requirement here?
Not really, but everyone here is rich. So I'm just checking which richness level you belong to.
I felt so annoyed. I turned as red as her lipstick, but they thought I was just embarrassed.
Aw, you're blushing. Don't worry, I'm the only one who has a private island. But at least tell me you have a private jet.
One of her minions butted in.
I don't think she does, Diane. Look at that cheap secondhand bag from Walmart.
Diane looked horrified. Yes, of course, I do. Who doesn't have a jet these days? I came in the limo because the jet has gone for maintenance. Just then, I saw my dad mopping the floor nearby. And even though he was poker-faced, I'm pretty sure he'd heard me.
Boring. But since you're pretty, you can join our gorgeous gang. We'll make your school experience beautiful like me.
Suddenly, someone whispered.
Good luck.
I turned around and instantly started blushing. Oh my, he was the cutest guy I'd ever seen.
Hi, I'm Brian.
He greeted me and I could feel my face turning red.
Ew! Why are you so red? You look like a stupid tomato.
Forget about the gorgeous gang. I don't want a freak with us. She's probably simping hard on Brian.
Well, Brian is only available for me, right, babe?
Come on, Diane. How many times do I have to tell you that we're not together?
Yeah, I hear you, babe.
I was so relieved to hear that Brian didn't like Diane, but I was sure it was becoming way too obvious to him that I was crushing hard. So I excused myself and ran away. I knew I'd have to avoid him, but that wasn't easy when we had all our classes together. During chemistry, he sat down next to me. Just then, the teacher started demonstrating sugar dehydration and asked us why sugars turned into black toothpaste after sulfuric acid is added. Everyone looked at her like she'd spoken Chinese. But I knew the answer. Because the sulfuric acid removes water from the sugar, releasing heat, steam, and sulfur oxide fumes. It also smells like caramel. Everyone looked uber impressed. Just then, Brian scooted closer to me and whispered,
I didn't know your brain is as pretty as your face.
Immediately, I turned horribly red.
What's wrong with you? Is that thing infectious?
I could see the girls snickering. What a total jerk. My blushing disease wasn't the only thing that was ruining things at school. It wasn't long before Diane realized I'd never worn anything that screamed $1 million. One day in the canteen, she suddenly came up to me and knocked my lunch tray off the table.
I've been watching you go to school every day and you're just walking.
I instantly turned red, totally furious. Before I could attack her, Dad was suddenly by my side.
That's an awful thing to do to a new student, Miss.
Diane looked like she was about to explode.
Excuse you. Who are you, her dad? Just do your job, you stupid janitor. And that's to clean up our mess. Here's some more for you.
And with that, Diane suddenly kicked the cart and spilled all the chemicals and trash onto the floor.
Do your work properly, or I'll tell my parents they can easily get you kicked out of here.
That's not how you should treat janitors, Diane. They work really hard to make sure the school is nice and clean for us. In fact, you shouldn't be allowed to speak like this to anyone.
Avenue. So am I supposed to cry and hug him for giving me his lame opinion?
No, but you're supposed to treat hardworking people with respect. Imagine how you'd feel if someone treated you that way.
And why do I need to imagine that? I'm pretty rich. I'm never going to be a janitor. I'm going to be sitting in a nice big office one day, running Daddy's business.
The principal, Miss Sheldon, suddenly arrived and asked what was going on. Diane immediately transformed into an angel.
Oh, nothing. The janitor just spilled his stuff and I was helping him.
She's lying. She kicked his things on purpose and was being horrible to him. I was sure Miss Sheldon was going to tell her off, but she just looked uncomfortable and told everyone to go to their classes. I was so angry that she didn't stand up for Dad just because Diane's rich parents gave a lot of donations to the school. That night, Dad surprised me with a beautiful birthday cake.
Yeah, happy birthday, sweetheart.
I'd completely forgotten I was turning 17 today. Thank you, Dad. I'm really sorry about how horrible Diane was to you. I wish I could just punch her in the face. Even the principal didn't do anything.
I'm sure she didn't have a choice, honey. She can't afford to make someone like Diane's parents angry.
But that's so unfair.
Well, I'm sure when you're rich one day, you'll treat people around you much better. Now don't worry about it anymore and open your gifts.
I was shocked to see some branded bags, shoes, and clothes. How did you afford these?
I had some money saved up. This will hopefully get those girls off your back for a while.
I hugged him and promised myself that someday I was going to spoil him and make him proud. But a few months later, my world turned upside down when he suffered from a heart attack and fell into a coma. I didn't know what to do, and how was I going to pay the hospital bills? When I told the principal, I broke down into tears, and she comforted me.
You don't have to worry about anything, Tina. I'll talk to the school board and we'll still keep you in school free of charge.
That's really kind of you, but I have another favor to ask. Please hire me in Dad's place. I really need a salary.
Tina, I'm not sure you want to work here. Maybe I could lend you some money.
Thank you, Miss Sheldon, but I'd rather work for it. Please? She was hesitant, but eventually agreed to hire me, and she was generous enough to double Dad's salary. When Diane saw me in my uniform for the first time, she cackled with delight.
I knew it. You're the janitor's daughter. It's a shame to have a poor freak like you here in my school.
The only thing that's a shame is that there are people like you in the world. Now please get out of my way. In between classes, I'd mop the floor and clean everyone's trash. And whenever I did, Diane would be there to mock me. One time, she peeled a banana and threw the peel right at my face.
Oops, sorry. I mistook your face for a trash can.
One day, we were in the middle of an exam, and she excused herself to go to the bathroom. When she came back, she complained that the toilet was clogged and I needed to go fix it. But I'm still answering my exam.
You're the janitor here, right? Do your work now.
I was furious. When I checked it, she had purposely stuffed a lot of tissue paper in the toilet. And even worse, she'd written the worst possible things on the bathroom walls. The next time Diane complained about the clogged toilet, I finally spoke up. Ugh, how long should I suffer from your constipation, Diane? I'm dying from the smell. Diane turned red with anger when others laughed.
I didn't poop, dummy.
Then why's the toilet always clogged? It was now her turn to blush and walk out in embarrassment. One day, when I was in the janitor's closet, I was surprised to see a boy coming in with a paper bag on his head. But I knew exactly who he was. Brian, why are you wearing that?
Because you blush hard every time you see my handsome face.
Oh, wow. Not only was he a little jerk, but he was also really full of himself. He got rid of the paper bag and held my hand. Surprisingly, I felt nothing.
Listen, what you did with Diane a while ago was so cool. It was the first time someone stood up to her, and I'm impressed. Do you want to hang out sometime?
I was about to say no when suddenly he leaned in for a kiss. I was blushing now, but in panic. Before our lips touched, the closet was suddenly opened by a super jealous Diane.
You're gonna pay for hitting on my future boyfriend, Tina. You'll see.
One evening, when I was studying for a big test, the principal called me.
I'm really sorry, Tina, but the jocks and the cheerleaders had a big party at the gym, and we need the place clean for an assembly tomorrow morning. It shouldn't take too long.
But when I got to school, I realized to my horror that not just the gym, but the whole school was a total mess. There was trash everywhere and stuff written on the walls. All the toilets were also clogged with tissue paper. Of course, I knew the culprit. I had to finally teach Diane a lesson. I took pictures of all the mess. Then I went to her locker and opened it up using a hairpin. I grinned when I saw what was in there. There was still room for a few things, so I took out the tissue papers from all the toilets and stuffed them in her precious locker. Perfect. Then an idea came to mind. I sneaked into the laboratory and mixed up a few chemicals together. I put my formula on a sponge and wiped it across the wall. The ink came off instantly. I sat down to rest for a while and I just fell asleep there. The next morning, I woke up to everyone gathered around me, and Diane was screaming.
That freak ruined my locker. She did it.
The principal walked into the scene. It's true I did that, Miss Sheldon. But look at what she and her minions did to the school before I cleaned it all up. Miss Sheldon looked horrified to see the pictures on my phone. She turned angrily to Diane.
Diane, you have no respect for the people who work here or for the school property. If you think I will keep tolerating such behavior, you are very much mistaken.
Ms. Sheldon, you know who my parents are, right?
Yes, I do. And I will be calling them right now. I'm going to talk to the school board about having you expelled.
Everyone around us erupted into cheers as Miss Sheldon and a very furious Diane walked into her office. She had been bullying everyone way too long. Long story short, Diane was expelled, and even her minions were suspended. I was about to graduate high school in a few months, and I kept thinking about the formula that I tried in the school lab. I continued testing it at home, and after a few weeks, I felt I'd really perfected it. I set up a website and put up a small video of me cleaning the toughest stains with my invention, and to my surprise, it went viral. I had orders pouring in so fast, I was working day and night to meet the demand. 2 weeks later, an investor contacted me, and fast forward to a couple more months, I was earning millions. I transferred Dad to a better hospital, and just a month later, he finally woke up. I told him everything that happened.
I'm so proud of you, Tina.
I went off to college, but Dad and I continued my business together and moved into a mansion. We supply our invention to a lot of schools for free to make the jobs of janitors easier everywhere. Oh, and I also found out that my condition could be easily fixed by a small surgery, and I could certainly afford it now. Finally, I could keep some secrets.